Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the transatlantic number Dl Lsv10 Us26D lever grade 2 commercial passage set. Here's the unit itself. We've been selling transatlantic, or at least my family and I have been selling transatlantic for decades. No exaggeration. Transatlantic is a line of lock that is just, it's a no-brainer. Set it and forget it. Great acceptance, great quality, great value, easy to install. Allows, quite frankly, it allows transatlantic to make money, allows the distributor to make money, allows the subcontractor to make money, allows the end user, client, building owner to get a good quality lock without it being very expensive. It's a great value for the item. It's great quality, resistant to abuse, even though it's not intended to be abused. But under normal usage conditions, this is a great option. It's something that everyone in the food chain, so to speak, will feel comfortable selling, whether it be the importer, the distributor, the contractor, whomever. It's great quality lock. So the Dl Lsv series is their grade 2 cylindrical lock. Grade 2 means it's been tested to 500,000 cycles. We have sold this kind of lock in countless commercial, standard duty commercial applications that will see moderate use. I even have some customers that will use it in high application uses like you would see in a retail environment or a fast food sort of a restaurant. And while they're really not intended to take that huge amount of volume, and if they're abused, they'll break and they're not serviceable, the logic is the end user is able to justify replacing the lock because the cost of the unit is already very attractive to begin with. Okay. Now, the 10 in the part number means passage. That's a fairly common number in the industry to mean passage. This is a ADA compliant lever design, very nice spring cage that's inside of here. I'll show you that a little bit more in a moment. The Dl Lsv series cylindrical lever sets are designed for use on all standard duty grade 2 commercial and residential applications. You don't see this in residential applications that often. It's ADA compliant solid zinc die cast. Passage function, both levers are always unlocked, always operable. It's simply a passage, meaning like a closet. You would never have a lock on that. Non-handed, reversible. You can certainly install this any way that you like. This features a removable through bolt sort of installation where lever locks, and there's a link below this video to the template, it's also included, require those holes at 12 and 6, whether you're doing 2 3/8 or 2 3/4 back set. This lock, you can elect to not install them. I do not recommend that whatsoever. You can put so much torque on the lock itself that you're going to make that body tip backwards. You're going to put a lot of undue stress on the 2 3/4 latch back set latch bolt that's included, and all of a sudden the latch bolt's kind of fighting to keep the lock where it has to be. So you don't want to do that. But there are people, there are instances, there are times when someone elects not to install that. One feature of the lock is the fact that you have that option should you want to employ it. Grade 2 will work on doors 1 3/4 to 2 inch thick. The latch bolt is 2 1/4 tall, 1 1/8 wide. Hollow metal doors are prepped for this. It's called a 161. That's normal. Although they're not prepped for a through bolt holes. That would be a modified 161. Standard sort of 1/2 inch projection on the latch. Spring latch, of course, being a passage set, it's always going to be pulled back. Okay. It is indeed 3-hour fire rated, and also is, you know, typical for a 2 1/8 inch hole. That is the 161 prep. Now, there is a link below this video to a document called Product Brochure, where it will allow you to review all of the units from Transatlantic in terms of their locks. Their grade 1, which is their LHV rather than their LSV. That's a grade 1 lock. That, if you expect to have significant usage, go right to the grade 1 lock. It's still extremely attractive in terms of the cost, but it just it kind of makes this lock feel dwarfed in terms of just its weight. You get the immediate impression that it's substantial. As you go through the product brochure, you'll see grade 2 locks, the LSV, grade 1 knob locks, grade 2 knob locks, grade 3 lever and knob locks. Those are residential. Deadbolts, accessories, latch bolts, strike plates, things of that nature. Some mortise locks that they have as well. They're commercial grade mortise locks. I'm not impartial to. They're decent. I don't sell a lot of those, but I don't have any reason not to sell them. I just haven't sold a lot of them. Those that I have been problem free. There is a link below this video to the installation instructions. Those are of course included. Very simple and straightforward. You're going to get a multi-purpose tool, spanner wrench kind of thing. You can remove the lever by sticking this end into the hole. There's a spring-loaded tab that's there, and you'll be able to depress it, pull the lever off, no problem. Pull the rosette off. Then this is the spring cage. Inside of here are those springs. That little tang that's there, that fits into the lever and is what really gives the engagement with the spring pack that's in there. Okay. You'll have your mounting plate. A couple of little barbs on here that are meant to sink into a wood door to help keep the chassis from rotating with use. If it's a metal door, you'll have little half circles at 3 and 9 on the door. So that's where you start. First thing, of course, to do is to install the latch bolt into the prep, do your mortise or whatever, stick it in. Then, of course, bring the body in from one side, which would typically be the exterior. Engage the unit like such, and you're in good shape. After that, you're going to run your plate. Oh, forgive me. Before you do that, you're going to decide whether or not you're doing the posts, the through bolt holes at 12 and 6. They'll get threaded down into here and into here. The back side of them feature a tapped hole for the screws that will go through here with the mounting plate. So imagine you had your posts installed. You'll run screws through here and tighten that down. Okay. There are additional screws that you'll use to mount the plate down. Then, of course, you'll bring your spring cage. You'll attach the spring cage to the plate. There are short little screws included. That's one of them right there. You'll bring your rosette down. You'll snap that on. It will go into the indent that's here. It will slide in, and then you simply rotate it and it locks in. Last but not least, that piece of black plastic, that will fall out if you allow it to. You need to have that installed. Not that it'll fall out, but it's removable. Then you just simply complete the installation, pushing it all the way down till it snaps. Test it to make sure. You don't want to finish your lock installation, drive 20 miles away for your client to call and say, the lever just came off in my hand. Always pull on it and test it. As you can tell, it's based on a true story. So installation is super simple. Regardless of the installation, of the function of the lock, it's all pretty much the same, even though a keyed lever lock will give you really no additional work because you're going to be working on the inside of the lock, where there'd be a push button or a privacy function, whatever. Finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the transatlantic products that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, along with a link to the full product catalog. The summary of Transatlantic is this. It's simple. We have sold their products for decades, and it's because of the great value. Here in Chicago, they're known as TACO, Transatlantic Company. Even though ownership of that company is now evolved, they're not really Transatlantic anymore, but people will know it as Transatlantic. If you are a subcontractor who installs metal doors, if you are a building developer who's looking for a good deal on hardware, a good deal meaning good value, overall package value. If you are a building engineer and you have let's say you're at a Big Ten school and you've got brand, Acme brand everywhere, But there are some closets that never get used and you don't need to spend $500 on a lock. That's a great place for transatlantic. Anything that you're going to do with them will be a Schlage C keyway, so that might be compatible with what you're already working on. But if you're anyone who has need for commercial hardware, the regular stuff, hinges, door closers, lock sets, exit devices, transatlantic hits it out of the park every time for value. That's all there is to it, especially their ED501 exit devices. Fantastic device. If you have any questions on the transatlantic, their part number is a Dl Lsv10 and a Us26D lever passage set, or any other transatlantic product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.